Yo, how's it going everyone? I thought it'd be cool to show off Pokemon Legends ZA graphics comparison versus Scarlet and Violet, particularly Violet. Both of these are going to be 4K 60 frames per second on the Switch 2. So I'm walking around here, just want to show kind of the buildings, the lack of balconies, I guess I should say, no depth to these windows. So some of these textures are just painted on. But if we switch over to Scarlet and Violet, you can see I don't even know how, as a community, we accepted this. One thing I will say is that you can see here we have some balconies with actual depth. So with Pokemon Legends ZA, we took a little bit of a step backwards where we should have had some depth. I mean, that was already engineered. On this game, it shouldn't have been that difficult of a port from an engineering standpoint, but yeah, you can see texture is not as good. Everything is running together, and we just have this, I guess, illusion of, or maybe an impression of what, a street is supposed to look like. If we switch back over to Legends ZA, now we're in this kind of snowy biome. And you can see we're walking around on the snow. I just took out Charizard. We'll do a quick battle here, just to show you kind of the particle effects and some textures. We'll just catch these two, and then put them away. But I'll show you kind of, there's a water area over here and some ice texture. So not terrible. It is an improvement, obviously, from Scarlet and Violet, and I think that's a pretty low bar. So take that for what it's worth, but it does look and feel better, and I've noticed no performance issues, and of course I'm getting attacked by this Snover. Let me get out of here. And then we'll switch over to Scarlet and Violet and look at a kind of snow biome. So, first impression, obviously everything blends together. It's very difficult to differentiate between what is mountain, what is snow, and yeah, you can see we have our Pokemon here, just spawning randomly. We can dodge some of these. Let's get into a battle real quick, and I'll show you kind of that idea. It's been a while since I played Scarlet and Violet, but man, it is a bit of a shock when you look at both of these compared to each other. And how long it takes to get your Pokemon out. There should be a quick just flamethrower, yep. But you can see the differentiation between what is a mountain, what is a slope, what this snow texture is kind of, it's hard to differentiate. One thing I will say is the particle effect on the footprint. So as you're walking through, you get kind of this particle effect. That doesn't exist in Legends ZA, at least in the previous biome that I was in. And now I'm being chased by a Sneasel. But yeah, so really hard to differentiate between these textures here. So it is an improvement in Legends ZA. Now we're going to take a look at a kind of grassy water biome here. And I mean, it really is, when you see both of these games compared to one another, I don't know how we as a community even purchased Scarlet and Violet. I was hoping with Legends ZA that we would have better graphics, better performance, and we do, but I think it's also important to understand that we're not asking for much here, and it's not much of an improvement, but when it's compared to this kind of melted Play-Doh, repeating texture, because the texture can't scale properly. And if we look at the water here and fly down, and all the pop-in that I've just forgotten about, there is some pop-in in Legends ZA, but in Scarlet and Violet, there's no, I guess, buildings to kind of cancel out that pop-in a little bit. So the engineers were a little bit clever picking the city biome where you could, your compute resources don't matter as much. But yeah, it's rough looking at Scarlet and Violet. I want to do a close-up of these wall textures here. So these textures have improved. And over on this side as well, you can see we get a little bit of depth with the sun coming in. Look, I understand these aren't the best graphics, for sure, but it is a massive improvement to, Scarlet and Violet, and in this case, Violet. But yeah, if we look around here, you can see some of these buildings look a lot better. There is no depth to these buildings or windows, and that's something that in Violet they had. But this wall texture here, it's just blurry from the beginning. It's not even ready to go here. So I don't know. I'm not a game programmer or anything like that, but I could imagine that these texture resources aren't as intense. I'm not sure why we couldn't scale that a little bit more. I don't know who the we is in this case, but whatever. But yeah, they definitely could have scaled that a little bit more, and definitely some more investment into Nintendo's engineers, I think, could have actually made Scarlet and Violet a much better game than it was, at least graphically. But you can even see this brick texture that I'm walking on. It's all running together. Everything is blurry, whereas if we switch over to Legend ZA here, you see we have a much more cohesive wall texture. Our bench here, still on the wall. If you look in the background there, we still have some running together, but that's just kind of what we expect at this point. Again, no depth on these windows here. So if you see, I'm going to try and find like a balcony which could have had depth. For example, up here, we have this balcony. There's no reason why, we can't have depth here, an actual balcony. As we saw, that was already in Pokemon Violet. So to transfer that code or to transfer the textures or the models shouldn't have been too difficult to do here. And I don't think it would have been that expensive computationally, when thinking about the Switch 2's hardware, to render that graphics. So even here, there's no reason we can't have the depth. Then if we switch over, this is just laughable here. Like, what in the world is this? This is supposed to be grass and a bench and a hedge, but yeah, let me know what you all think. Were we a little too lax on Scarlet and Violet, saying, oh no, it's okay, it's not good, but we'll put up with it? I definitely think Pokemon Legends ZA is much better, but I think hopefully you got something out of this comparison, and yeah, as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.